So students, now we'll discuss about the next topic. As we have discussed the meaning of equity shares, the advantages of equity shares and the disadvantages of equity shares from investors' point of view and the company's point of view. Now I'll move to the next heading, that is meaning of preference shares. So preference shares are those shares which carry certain privileges, the priority and the preferential treatment in regarding the payment of dividend as well as the repayment of capital. So preference shares are those shares which comprises of the hybrid security comprising both the features of equity shares and the debentures. So preference shares are those shares which carry the features of there should be a declaration of dividend or payment of dividend at a certain time before any other securities and the refund or the repayment of capital. So as you can look here, I have written here, preference shares are the shares which carry certain benefits or privileges or preferential treatment or priority in the payment of dividend and the repayment of capital. And these preference shares combines the both features, or it is a combination of the hybrid security comprising of the equity shares and debentures. Like equity shares, these preference shares gets a fixed rate of dividend and do not enjoy voting rights. And like debentures, this preference shares also gets the dividend. There should be a payment of dividend. So it's written here, dividend at a fixed rate must be paid to the preference shares before and means this is getting a preferential treatment or priority. Dividend on preference shares is paid prior to any other securities. And second is that a repayment of capital is also given back to the preference shareholders. So it's written that in the event of closing down, in the event of winding up the company, in the event of dissolution of the company, all the capital is paid back to the preference shareholders. So it's written, you can write it down at your copies. Preference shares is a hybrid security, means it combines the dual feature, which is of equity shares as well as the debentures. So equity shares, like dividend on preference share is payable, means dividend is payable only where there are surplus profits, when there are adequate or sufficient profits in the company coffers, then the preference shareholders are being given the dividend. And like debentures, dividend on preference shares is payable, and debentures preference share carry a fixed rate of dividend, and they also possess that they have do not possess any voting rights. Equity shares have the voting rights while preference shares do not enjoy voting rights. There are certain exceptions when there are accumulated preference dividend more than two years, then they are having certain exceptions when they can vote. So I have written all the definitions and meaning of preference shares. Do read the meaning and jot down the key terms at your respective copies, and do listen to the audio clips, watch the video several times, and most importantly, whatever chapter we have completed, chapter 1, chapter 2 and chapter 3, you have to update your copy. You have to write all the questions and answers of the short question, long questions, and the copy will be assessed and evaluated, and the marks will be given on the basis of that. And if any sorts of doubts arises, then do revert back to me. I'll definitely give you the required assistance. So write it down.